Hey everyone, it is Zenith yet again back with take 2. Today we are on this elusive quest to find holy water and to turn up what makes water holy and to gather some holy water. So before we kind of do that, we are in what's called part of the Ring of Gullion. We are in a graveyard, an old abandoned church. This was a church which was founded by a little known saint in Ireland called Saint Moninna or Saint Moninna. She apparently was ordained by St Patrick himself and went on to become a nun and made this a kind of nunnery, later founded into a church, and now serves as a both old and abandoned graveyard. So I'll just give you a little view of the place. We're not going to spend a lot of time here. As you can see, it's a very tranquil little place. It makes up part of the Ring of Gullion, which is a ring of historical monuments here in the north of Ireland. I've done quite a lot of them, I haven't done them all, and that helpfully gives us a little map of the place. That's the Ring of Gullion, Kalibi churches, and this gives us a little bit of information about Kalibi. As you can see there, she lived there until her death, 518. So same year it was founded in the 5th century according to this information. And as you can see, it's a beautiful and tranquil little place. There's some really old and interesting graves here, just a real sense of tranquility. And Saint Moninna was actually buried here. Her grave site is up here somewhere. I'll just bring it up before we kind of go on. It's quite cold today, so here you go. Here's the grave of Saint Moninna. There's still, although she was a Christian and Catholic nun, and Christianity did prevail at that time, the old ways and the old traditions still persist here. As you can see, someone has made a bit of a cross out of weeds, and someone has made the shape of a cross in stones. So old kind of Celtic and old Druidic traditions still actually persist today. People do still honour the old ways. And that's the old chapel grounds. And across from that, there are actually people buried inside those old abandoned chapel grounds. And right at the far side of that are some extremely old graves, which are really cool and interesting to kind of see. Let's just go over and take a quick look at some of them. I'm not, as I said, going to spend a lot of time because the main focus of our talk today is about holy water. So this is what we're trying to do. Let me just say, what I wouldn't give for a selfie stick right now. It's not something I ever wished or ever believed I would have said, but there you go. Anyway, so I'll carefully turn this around and we can look at some of these really old and kind of ancient graves that still have some writing on some of them. It's quite hard to make out. Some of it's really faded, but you can see there are still some really kind of old writing. Here's one here. Someone has just helpfully come up and cut the grass. It's actually quite weird to see this. You can see all these kind of modern graves and modern headstones right beside all of these really old and ancient ones. Well, ancient for kind of our times here. Here lieth the body of James Mahuthi, who departed this life on, I can't quite make that out, of May 777. He was a ripe old age of 66 in 777. Quite astonishing, isn't it? That's kind of our normal life expectancy today. And who departed with, or does it say, with him in May the 16th, 700 and, can't quite make that out. Maybe you'll be able to make it out here, but whenever it was, he was 72 years of age. So yeah, quite an interesting little place. Some really old gravestones, some really old burial stones. Whoever this was, they were 22 years of age. Anyway, as I said, this is not the focus of our talk today. It was just a little interesting diversion or excursion. Our talk today is the concept of holy water. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to gather some holy water. And maybe I'll just bring you up here. It might actually be better to see through the trees here. I'm going to a shrine that has been dedicated to Saint Moninna. I'm assuming that the shrine has something in connection with the church. Really researched it, not much, it's not overly important to me, but there is a shrine where you can gather so-called holy water from the ground up here, and hopefully we may be able to see it through the trees. You can just about, actually, if I move you over here, and we take a look at this interesting gravesite. Anyway, nope, I'll have to move back a little bit. Yeah. So if you can see, way up there, just through those trees, you'll see a little, yeah, you can see that now. So that's where the shrine is. So that is where we are going today, somehow. So it should be an interesting little excursion. What we're going to do is go up to this shrine to collect some holy water. So what I'll do is I'll hit pause on the video until we are kind of off the main road and ready to hit the shrine, I guess. So just along this this wall up here, this is where we're going to go, and we're going to collect our holy water. And the reason why that I had decided to come up here is because some of my relations are staunch Catholics, staunch Christians, and they truly do believe in the concept of holy water. And I had promised to gather them some holy water, and which I did. I'd gather them holy water, but I completely forgot it was holy water and drunk it all. So I had to make the trip up here last time to gather some holy water. As you can see, we're this is where we're heading. Way up there. Just get along there. We seem to have a few interested parties. Or maybe you're just trying to protect your calf. Anyway, so yeah. I had drunk the last water, so I had to come up here, and this is kind of take two because my last video didn't quite work out. So what we're looking at here today is a discussion around holy water. You know, if you are a Christian, I'm not too sure about any of the other Abrahamic faiths, then you believe in the concept of holy water. You believe that water is blessed. This is not particularly inspiring, so I'm going to turn the camera around. I believe that water is blessed. That is either blessed by a priest, a man or woman of God who has been ordained into that faith on the will of God. And so by divine right, that person has the authority and the the authority from God themselves, if you want to call it that, to make water holy. But we also know as well that water can also be holy if there's a holy site which makes that water holy. So according to Christian faith, water becomes holy, it becomes more than just ordinary water if it has either been blessed by a priest, a man of faith, or a site in which holy water or water runs through, some sort of shrine, some sort of well, some sort of river, has been designated holy by someone in position to do these things. Maybe the Pope. By someone within that faith. Let me just get another one of these blackberries because they are quite delicious. And that's apparently what makes a place holy, what makes water holy or blessed. So, that's what we're here to discover today. We're here to gather some holy water. And this is not great with all these bugs. I hope you realise the sacrifice I'm making to you people by going up here to demonstrate holy water. Anywho, so I guess I'm interested in the concept of holy water, as I've mentioned for about 1,000,001 times. But what exactly endows those people within the Christian faith and potentially others, Judaism, Islam, what endows those men, those people within those faiths to truly make water holy? Do they have a divine right from God? Do they have these extraordinary powers? Does the invocation of their words and their will give metaphysical properties to ordinary water? Does it provide healing qualities? Does it provide so-called miracles? Are these people somehow different from the ordinary layman or laywoman? That they possess, by divine authority, powers granted to them to truly transmutate water, ordinary water, and turn it into something which is not ordinary. Does water from a particular place that has been blessed once or designated a holy site, is all water that comes from that place now holy? And believe me, I've seen this lots of times. I've seen many people here in Ireland who will swear by the healing properties or the miraculous properties of this holy water. But I'm wondering, is it their faith in what they believe? Is it their faith that maybe provides these so-called miracles or these healing properties? Is it their faith in these people, in their power of transmutation, in the power of the sacred site that this water flows? Is it their belief in this that provides this? And I'm wondering this because when we look at the placebo effect in medicine, sometimes in trials of medicine, of drugs, of pharmaceuticals that have yet to be made, fit for public consumption, or even perhaps doctors, GPs, pharmacists, what they'll do is they'll take either a test group of people. Yep, there's my audience for the day. Are you enjoying this? Or you just want to say, bah, humbug? Lend me your ear. Anyway, they will substitute some of these medicines, some of these tablets, with ordinary sugar and water pills. Pills that contain no medicinal properties other than sugar and water. And what has been found in a lot of cases is that it is the belief in that person who's being treated that they will get better, that they have been given this magic pill which is going to cure their ailments. And these people do not know whether they are being handed placebo pills. That it has simply been their belief in this that has cured them to some degree, larger or smaller, of their ailments. And hopefully it's not going to rain, or else I'll definitely be getting some holy water upon my head. Yeah, that has provided their, that has righted their health, that has, cured their disease, that has alleviated their ailments or their symptoms. And so if this is the case, could this not also possibly be responsible for some of the so-called miraculous recoveries that people made? The people have invested so much belief and power in this miraculous water, which has been apparently made holy by these people who have the power invested in them by, the Creator or God themselves, that has provided the healing qualities or the miraculous recoveries that have blessed or consecrated the place, rather than any actual metaphysical properties. I guess when we look at there's a little fixer-upper there. I know that would suit someone. But do we really, if we take, our faith and belief out of this, is it not perhaps that maybe priests don't actually have divine authority? I include rabbis and imams in that too. Any so-called holy person. Surely when we look at it then, in that regards, then we can maybe say that their power or their anointment into that faith has simply just been invested in them by another ordinary person who was initiated, indoctrinated, I don't want to say that, into that faith by yet another ordinary person. And so rather than having any divine right, rather than having any divine power, it's simply that they are ordinary people, and it's the belief system that we have in this that provides the healing qualities, that provides the placebo effect of this. Inside the Christian Bible, I've left quotes in the thing, they make references to that we are a nation of priests, that each and every one of us is a nation of priests. And by that, what that means is if, regardless of your faith, regardless of your philosophy, regardless of what you believe, if you do believe in something in the hereafter, most of us do believe that we will return to our source, that we belong with this source, that we have come from that source, and to that source we will return. So therefore, we are a spark, we are a puddle of this source, we belong with that source. And so by that rationale, by that reckoning, are we not all the same then? We hear that so often. We are all one. There's no real difference between us. And if that's the case, then why do we think that, there are people out there who are better than us, people who are closer, I guess, to God, closer to their Creator than others? Certainly there are people out there who are more learned than us, people who have more wisdom than us, potentially people who have greater abilities. But surely that's simply because maybe that they have, believed something a bit more, that they have opened themselves up a little bit more to let more of that divine light in, rather than actually having any kind of standing. You hear this in channel messages all the time from these beings that, are not in our physical realm, that we're all basically the same, that maybe they who are coming to us are just simply a little bit further along in the path, but ultimately there's no difference because we're all the same. And so by that rationale, surely there is no such thing as holy priests, holy men. Surely we all are the same person. And if that's the case, and if we're all a nation of priests, as been hinted about in the Christian Bible, if Jesus truly said that, the Father is, I and the Father are one, and by that what he was saying is that, there is no difference between me and God. And his message was that, you too can be like me. You too will go on to do greater acts. Because, you can realise what I have realised. You can potentially have the same faith, same belief. And so by that rationale, can we not all have the power to make water holy, to make water blessed, to, transmutate water? It may sound crazy, but again, this is the power of faith, this is the power of thought. As a kind of little backup to that, let's examine the research of a Japanese or Korean scientist. I don't know, I've left notes in the links. I should have thought about that before I was going to record this. He conducted experiments, blindfolded, double-blind experiments, in which he conducted experiments on the power of water, transmutation of water. And he got a group of volunteers to project thoughts of love, of happiness, of kindness, of well-being towards an ordinary glass of water, an ordinary glass of tap water, spring water, no metaphysical properties about it, not blessed in any way, shape or form. Then he got another group of people, or it could have been the same group of people, to perform the same experiment on the same water, only this time that he got those people to project thoughts of hate, separation, isolation, doom and gloom, danger towards this water. At the end of each experiment, he took the water, he froze it, and examined the ice molecules under a microscope, and he found that the crystalline structure of that water frozen into ice had vastly different properties from when it was examined with no intention put through that. He found that it's a little windy up here. He found that the group who projected thoughts of love and happiness towards that water, the water when frozen, when examined, formed beautiful crystalline, co-eccentric patterns, all in harmony, all very pleasing to the eye. The other group, the other experiment that he conducted, where he got those other group of people to project thoughts of hatred and separation towards that water, he found when he examined that water under a microscope, when he found that when he examined the structure of that it was jagged, misaligned, out of alignment. And so by doing that, he proved that our thoughts, our intention, can actually change the structure of water, can change the crystalline nature of water, that we can kind of charge water. And back in the 1980s, there was a channeling done by a group called LL Research. It was called the Raw Contact. They were in communication with one of these beings, and one of the requests that this being asked or stated to the group when they were in communication with this entity who was speaking through a lovely lady called Carla, was he gave a number of things, but he said that have a glass of water, have a jug of water, ready for when she wakes up out of this channeling, when she comes back, because it's very draining. It's very thirsty work when you're channeling extra-dimensional entities. And he said, project your thoughts of love into that water. Project your thoughts of love into that water, because it will have healing properties. And I guess at the time we didn't know about this experiment, but today we know that through the experiment, through the results of this scientist, that our thoughts, our feelings, our intention towards water truly does have an effect. Truly does have a physical, tangible effect. And so by that rationale, once again, do we not all have the power to bless and transmutate water? Do we not all have the power to make water holy, to make water sacred? And surely, once again, it's simply our belief in these structures, these rules, these so-called laws that have been largely invented by men, that does not actually come from the original source, Jesus or Allah or Moses, that have shaped our belief that it is only through these so-called holy men that our water can become blessed, that our water takes on metaphysical properties, that our water becomes something different from ordinary water, that the power and the investment in these by divine right, that they have the power to go even to a location such as this and bless that source of water there. Doesn't matter how much water you take from this source, but all water that springs forth eternally from this site will be blessed. But surely, as I said, maybe it's because of our belief system, maybe it's the trappings, maybe it's the symbolism of places, the symbolism, the ornate decorations, the fabulous jewels, the flowers, the architecture, the music, the setting, the location. All of that stuff plays into our senses, and we believe somehow that this elaborate scene before us is more blessed than ordinary tap water. So, Let me just get my own water. So what I'm here to do is fill up my ordinary water bottle that I purchased from the local market or local shop. River rock still water, no metaphysical properties in that. Simply ordinary water purchased from the nearest river or spring. Dozens, if not hundreds of this, purchased by the day. Calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, bicarbonate, chloride, nitrate, sulfate. Just ordinary, pretty much everyday water, but yet here I am and I'm going to fill it with so-called holy water. But as I said, given what I've said before, surely by my own power, my own thoughts, I have the power invested in me to bless and make pure this water. Drinking that so-called holy water last time did not imbue me, unfortunately, with any secret abilities or with any so-called superhero abilities. I did not shoot lightning from my fingertips. I did not cure from a miraculous illness. To be honest, I didn't even feel bad after it, so at me, it was just ordinary, everyday water. Is this water really any different than ordinary everyday tap water, or water from your normal kind of location? Where's my tap? And do I, given what we know about the power of our thoughts and our attention, we talk about this all the time. We talk about manifesting. How do you manifest something? It's such a big thing now, isn't it? Law of attraction. It's such a big thing. And how do we utilize law of attraction? Through our imagination, through our thoughts, through our attention, by willing something to come forward. And so many people believe that. So many people absolutely buy into that. So many people apparently have had amazing results through the law of attraction. So therefore, is not all thought the same? Can we not apply that thought and send our intentions, our positive thoughts, to purify and charge ordinary everyday water? Does water have to, be in an elaborate place, to be in an ornate dish, a chalice, to be blessed? Can it not be holy water if it's in this ordinary 2-litre still water that I purchased from the local supermarket? It is interesting, isn't it? Does this site truly provide holy water? But then what was here before this, and what would happen if this shrine was knocked down? Would the water no longer be water then, or be holy? It's an interesting thing to think, and I truly do believe that, given everything that we have said, that it is simply our own intentions and our own belief systems that make water holy. Not a great day up here. Slightly better than last time I was up here, but a great view, and it's hard to believe that right down at that white house down there, that is where I am parked, and we have made it all the way up here. It seemed really far away when we were looking at it from the church, was just in those trees in there. And looking at it now, it looks so far away, but if you're like me, you got caught up in the in the narration and didn't really think too much about the length of time that it took. Or maybe you did, thinking, oh my god, this video is rambling on and he's just waffling on now. Hurry up and end it. Which I will do shortly, because I'm kind of almost concluded my point. So yes, does the location of water make water holy? Is it blessed, ever more or even more because it's been deemed a holy site, that so-called miracles have happened there? I'm not suggesting that miracles don't happen. I'm simply suggesting that because so-called miracles have happened there, or someone has, got some sort of miracle healing, that, that place has been dubbed holy, where apparently wasn't holy before? Or is it, as I said, always been holy or always not been holy? Does different water contain, healing properties? Is there some sort of properties, chemical or alkaline properties within water? Some sources of water that maybe provide healing towards some people, potentially. We do know that we can add to water electrolytes and different chemicals to further imbue that water, with chemicals which are good for us, which help our body. But ultimately, at the end of the day, are these chemicals found in different sources of water, potentially? But can they provide miraculous effects? Not too sure about that one. And here is a little local custom in which they come and decorate the tree, give their offerings, I guess, to St. Moninna in exchange for their ailments and their wishes to be granted, I guess. Some of them, I guess, have been waiting a bit of a long time, judging by the state of these things. So if all this is the case, and certain sites are no more holy than the other, or any other site, and that we all have the power to bless and transmutate water, and if that source of water there may be blessed by a Christian church, but is certainly not noted for any miracles. There's nothing, when you research, the shrine of St. Moninna, you'll not hear that she had the ability to, grant miracles, that her water or her shrine is one which has healing properties. There's certainly nothing to suggest that. So therefore, if that site is simply holy in name only, and we all have the power to bless, transmutate water, and give it its healing properties. If we all have the ability, let's say, to project love, to call in angels and all the rest of it into water, which may transmutate it, then what does it say about a site like this? Is this water any different from the water over there? Because this is a natural source of water that may have been used, in pagan times or Druidic times for maybe different purposes. Is this water more pure? Is this water more holy? Because this is the original source of the water than potentially where that shrine or where that well has been dug. Perhaps that is an artificial shrine, and this is the original source of the water. Who knows? Let's try and get down further without falling in. So, apparently just fresh running water. No extra healing properties. It does not taste any different. It does not feel any different. It does not look any different than our water over there. So what's the difference? What exactly is the difference? Is it all just superstition? Is it all just a trick of the mind? Is any water holy at all? Or is it all just the same? Can we synthesize holy water? Can we actively make water holy by, as I said, the adding of chemicals to it, by the adding of electrolytes, the adding of different ingredients, I guess, if you like, to make that water supercharged? What about oh my god, I'm getting into dangerous territory here. What about that H3O, which is a different chemical compound of water, supercharged water? What about that? You know, that has been either discovered or has been, I don't say genetically manipulated, but you know, synthesized in a lab to, you know, potentially be better than our ordinary H2O water. What does this say for invoking the power of angels into our water? What does it say about our spiritual connection to water? Our bodies are 2/3 of water. Water is a spiritual element. It's a portal to other dimensions. You can invoke angels to come in and ask to charge your water, to purify it, to bless it even further. So it would seem that there is something to be said about water. There's something to be said about ordinary water and the ability to bless that water, to purify it, that it can become something more, it can become supercharged, but not through any particular person or one being. It's not that anyone else out there has the power to make this water any more holy than you. It's not that the water has to be placed into some sort of ornate goblet or has to have this elaborate shrine over it. You know, that's all just feeds into the power of suggestion, feeds into the power of belief, you know, feeds into your faith. Your true ability to bless water comes from within. Like every single thing that we have, the ability to do anything lies within us. This is what all of these famed teachers and famed philosophers and famed ascended masters and religious icons have all stated. Everything lies within us. The ability to find God does not lie without, it lies within. We too have the ability, somewhere within us, dormant, to perform so-called miracles. But we do have the ability, right here and now, to purify and bless our own water. Now, if I was to take this water, not even take this water, if I was to take this urn, this ornate goblet that contains water, and I was to fill that up with tap water, and I was to return that to family members and tell them that I had went and up to the shrine and got it, how would they know the difference after everything that we've talked about? How would they know the difference? How would they determine, if they even suspected, that this water was any different from ordinary tap water? Potentially you could get tap water tested to say that it's been treated with fluoride. But what if it's unfluoridated water? What if it's just regular water from, you know, a regular stream, a regular river, a regular source of water which is not fluoridated, which is untreated? There's no way to know the difference. And so if that's the case, then it is simply their power, their belief in this water, which has come from a holy source, that makes all the difference then. It is simply their faith. They believe that this water came from that holy site away up there that determines the water is holy. But unwittingly, if I was that unscrupulous or scrupulous, I could very well have done that. I could very well have pulled that prank upon them, and they would never have known the difference. And given everything that we have talked about on this talk, would it have mattered? Would it have mattered one bit in the slightest whether I obtained this water from somewhere else? Surely I can make this water as holy as water that was drawn from that well up there. As any water that you will find within a holy building or a place of worship, from the Vatican itself, from Mecca, from Jerusalem, Bethlehem, any of these places, surely it is my power and my ability to supercharge this water, to send my intentions of love and blessing into this water, that blesses and makes holy this water, not through any external source. But of course I'm not like that, and would not do that. So at the time that I was making the original video, I truly did, as we've just seen here, went to the shrine and drew holy water from this source. I might be needing some holy intervention myself if I don't be careful here, because it's kind of slippy. Anyway, so yeah, that's holy water. So they don't need this holy water anymore. I drunk the last one. Tasted okay. And so what should I do with this holy water then? What should I do with this water that I have quested on, that I have put myself in peril and braved these dangerous bugs and brambles, cut a swath like some explorer of old, like Indiana Jones, on his quest for the Holy Grail, to obtain the mythical holy water and put it within the magical container? Well, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it. As soon as I find a safe place to stop talking and turn the video around. So if you'll just bear with me whilst we make our way through the dense undergrowth of deepest, darkest Cambodia. We've been at it for so long now, surviving on nothing but the pickings of the blackberry trees and the few drops of water that have come our way. The trial and trek has been long and arduous, but we have succeeded in our quest. And we brave the perils of the uneven ground and the boggy waste of the foul beasts that perpetuate this place, to return once more to sanctuary, back to terra firma, back to more solid ground, back to a safer location, where once again we pass through the sleepy hollow, being careful not to get any bugs in our mouths. And please don't say it's a good source of protein. To our quest hint, where we can then say what we're going to do with our holy water. Here's exactly what I'm going to do. Pour it out. Why? Because what does it matter? What exactly does it matter if we pour the water out that we quested for, that we journeyed for, that we braved the perils for, the perils of the brambles and bushes? I really need a selfie stick. Because all water is holy, all water is pure, all water is sacred. All water has the power to heal. All water can be purified, can be blessed. So any source of water is as good as one another. But of course, I'm not just going to pour all of the water out. That was just a demonstration. And the reason why I'm not going to pour all the water out is because this is a source of pure fresh water. Untampered with chemicals, is not passed or not treated through our sewerage systems. So this water is as good as any else. So why wouldn't I want to keep this? Maybe I should have actually filled it up that other time from in that cliff face. Thirsty worthless adventuring. So yes, this concludes our video for today, our holy water, and I hope that you will all partake and join me in remembering the power of water, remembering the power of your thoughts, your intention can have in water. Next time you take some water, be sure to bless it, be sure to send positive vibes in that, because it can do nothing but provide beneficial and healing properties to your physical vehicle. Next time you take a bath or shower, invite angelic presences to come in and offer their own unique blend of healing into that. Bless the water inside you. Bless yourself. Oh, didn't like that. This is just my regular audience. Some of my regular audience who like to listen to me ramble when I'm out. So, yes, until next time, this is me, the Zenith, with my holy water.